Okay, so for this video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about order of operations and sort of why we're doing it and what it's all about. So with this, just so that you remember, we need to have an order of the operations that we do so that if everybody's doing the same problem, we all come up with the same answer. So that we make sure that we know we do this first, this second, this third, all the way through. So no matter how many things you have, gives you an opportunity to kind of look at it and figure this out. So what I'm going to do, there's a worksheet that's on your resource page that'll sort of show you what it is that you can do. And I'm going to go through about 3 problems on here just to kind of show you what it is that we're going to do with that. So what we need to remember is when we talk about order of operations, it follows the idea of PEMDAS is something that other people have said, PEMDAS. And the P stands for parentheses. Anything inside parentheses you do first. Then E stands for exponents. So if it has an exponent, you have to evaluate it second. I put them like this, M and D, because multiplication and division come next. Now, multiplication doesn't come before division. Division doesn't come before multiplication. It's whatever you see first when you're going from left to right. Then after those two, we've got addition and subtraction. So we're going to go through about 3 problems down here and just kind of see that we can take us through this order of work and make sure we know what it is that we're talking about. Okay, so our first one I'm going to go through is down here. Problem number 4 is what I'd like for us to start with. So we do this. The reason I wanted to start with this is it's got a good set of the 2 things we're really looking for initially. We have at the beginning of this, parentheses, exponents, and things that I kind of want to work with. So what we want to do first as we're working with this is we want to do what is inside our parentheses first. So even though it's 4 times, this is 8 times, 8 plus 5. So I want to do that work before I do anything else. So 8 plus 5 in this case is going to be 13. Now, I'm going to keep that in parentheses as an answer. So this is going to be 4 times 13 plus 4 to the second power. Okay, so I've taken care of P for parentheses. Now E is exponents, and that's next. So while I see this multiplication here, I want to do this exponent before I do that. So 4 to the second power is 4 times 4, which is going to give us 16. That'll be this answer here. I'm going to keep writing these down here. I'm going to change that multiplication sign to this type of multiplication sign only so it doesn't get confused as an X. This is supposed to be times, so this is an easier place for us to look at it. Now I have multiplication and addition. Multiplication comes before addition, so we're going to do that one now. 4 times 13 is 52 plus 16. And now that I only have one thing left with that, I can get my final answer for this, which is going to be 68. And that is what I have for this problem. So the idea is take each step one at a time and show where everything came from. In all math, you want to make sure that you can see. If I got a 13 there, I know where it came from. If I got a 16 there, I know where it came from. So I can track where things came from and how I got them. From this one, we're going to pop over one, and we're going to have us work on problem number 9. So for problem number 9, if I'm going to be doing this one, I'm going to change up colors just to mix it up a little bit here. We've got parentheses, we've got division, we've got subtraction, we've got exponents. So the first thing I'm going to do is that parentheses, 30 minus 6. So inside parentheses, if I do 30 minus 6, that is going to give me a 24 divided by 12 minus 3 to the second power, or 3 squared. Now, here I have division, subtraction, and exponent. I got to do exponent next. 3 to the second power is going to give us an answer of 9. And because that negative there is not in parentheses, this is just a minus, so we keep it right there. If I had had that in parentheses, I'd have to square the negative number, which would give me a positive. But here, because this is not, it's still okay. So there's my 12, and there is my 24. Since there's nothing around the 24 that is going to be impacting it with the parentheses, I'm just going to drop those. So now I've got division and subtraction. From these, I do division first. So I do 24 divided by 12, which is going to give me a 2. So now I have 2 minus 9. And the final answer, when I do 2 minus 9, it's going to give me a negative number because I'm taking more away than I have. And it will give me a negative 7 as the final result for that one. Now, I want to make sure that we get a chance to do at least one more problem here. And actually for you, since I'm stopping the video, I'm going to tell you it's going to be exactly one more problem. We're going to pop up to the 7 because there's a couple things in the same set of parentheses, which makes this a little weird, and I want to make sure we talk about it. Inside parentheses, you might have to do an order of operations rule inside here too. So there's more than 2 things, so that means I've got a multiplication, an addition, and an exponent. So I've got some work to do in here before I can even get to that 7 on the outside, okay? So inside here, the first thing that I want to do is this exponent because I do parentheses work first. So I'm going to keep these here, that 4 times that 8 are still there. I've still got a plus, and 4 to the second power is 16. So you're just going to continue to copy everything over here. Now, inside here, I'm still doing parentheses work. I've got multiplication and addition. So the first thing that I'm going to do is the multiplication part. So 4 times 8 is 32, plus 16, still in parentheses, plus 7. So now I've got to do this work first, and then I've got this final one. So 32 plus 16 is going to give us a 48 as the final answer of that set of parentheses. And at the end of it, 48 plus 7 is going to give you 55. Now again, every time we are working through these problems, we're trying as hard as we can to figure out what do we do, why do we do it, and what order does it go through. And that's kind of a set that should help you remember how to do that. So with that being said, this is your review for this.